Congratulations, Sankofa MAIZE Connect Limited. We are a year old today, and in fact, we are super excited. Stay tuned as we are ready to give you a brief history of how the entire project started. Thank you very much. So one may ask, what motivated me to start this business? Alright, so I was an agribusiness student whereby I realized that there's a weak link in our agricultural commodity supply chain. That is, our farmers have a lot of raw materials at the farm gates, that's maize, soya beans, cashew nuts, as well as other agricultural commodities at the farm gates, whereby they need markets for it, but then they are not having them and they end up suffering from post-harvest losses. Now, this discourages them from going into commercial farming the next season. Also, there were a lot of companies, and that's feed milling companies, poultry farmers, market women, exporters, to count of them, thousands of them. These companies also need these products or agricultural commodities as their source of primary raw materials in their production activities. Hence, I saw the need to link these two players together. So I started as an agent middleman, whereby I wasn't having any capital, but then I go to the farmers to ask of them, what product do you have that you are serious need of ready markets for it? And they tell me, okay, so we have maize, maybe 200 bags, I have cashew nut, maybe 300 bags, I have this, I have that, but I don't have buyer, or maybe the buyer I've gotten is not ready to buy at my price. Alright, so immediately I hear that from the farmer, I take his number and let the person know that he shouldn't sell the product to any other person. I'm going to find him a ready buyer. Then I contact the companies that, hey, I have a farmer who has maybe X amount of goods available at the warehouse and he is selling it at this X amount. By then, I've already added my commission to the farmer's price, okay? So when I'm able to negotiate with the buyer and he agrees to my price, then I link the two together. So after the consignment, the farmer signs my commission to me. So this is what I did for almost a year. Then I realized that this business is something feasible and there's a need for me to make it something professional. So I contacted a German woman. By then I had already gone to Germany for a business plan competition, of which I was one of the qualified 10 students from UCC to undertake a business plan competition in Germany. So that was where I met this Ghanaian who is married to a German. So I came back to Ghana and we were still in contact when I went there. And then through the conversation, I told her, Mom, I've seen this business of which I need her support. That's, I want her to invest. Her name is Mama Africa. Okay, so she told me to submit my proposal or concept notes about the business. And for her to analyze the business to also confirm whether the business is something feasible or not. So I did that. I wrote the concept notes and submitted to her a mail. And I got a reply, so I was so excited. Later, she contacted me again that she needs me to connect with a friend of hers who is from the UK. His name is Mr. Jacobson, Klaus Jacobson. All right, so he's a white man and he assisted me in shaping the concept notes. So he looked into the plan and everything, my financials and everything. He realized that, hey, the business is something profitable. So he got back to the German woman and told her, after analyzing the business, I think what this guy said is true. Before the German woman injected 30,000 Ghana cedis. So Sankofa MAIZE Connect Limited started this business with a capital of 30,000 Ghana cedis. So after I got this capital, I saw the need to also add up additional people to make the business more professional and also to ease the pressure that was going to be on me and to make the business more to go through smoothly. All right, so I invited about 10 colleagues of mine who also offered BSc agribusiness. So we started. I think our first consignment went through successfully. All right, and in fact, the German one was so excited that, hey, you did very well, and I think everything that you said was true. So with time, I realized that now the people surrounding me and the profits I generate, it's not enough to pay myself and pay the additional 10 people surrounding me. So I saw the need to also cut off the people surrounding me and maintain only one person. Okay, so I advised them that, hey, look, guys, the capital I was expecting to start a business with was not up to what we all stated during the business plan or the financials. All right, so they should exercise patience for now. And and I'll need only one person to assist me. And later, when the business develops, then I welcome them back in the business, and they understood me. So I maintain only one person called Mr. Sankoma Ababo Paul. All right, so he was the general manager by then, and he's still the general manager of Sankofa MAIZE Connect Limited. And in fact, I wouldn't say everything went on smoothly during the first consignment and the consignment that we subsequently went. All right, but I'll be talking about that later. But as this juncture, I would like to welcome Mr. Ababo Sankoma Paul, so that he also give us the main reason why he honored my invitation when I told him to come and join me to start this business or to continue with this business. Thank you.
I'm Mr. Sankoma Ababo Paul, the General Manager of Sankofa MAIZE Connect Limited. Mr. Nathan Adolabi, who is the Managing Director of Sankofa MAIZE Connect Limited, is my program mate. We have been friends for long. When he went to Germany for an entrepreneurship program, when he returned, he sat me down and told me a very nice story. Mr. Paul, I have this business idea I want to embark. It's a kind of business which is highly profitable, but it needs very smart people to do that. So if you wouldn't mind, this and this and this is what I want to do, and I would like if you support me or you get time to help me embark on this business. So after he told me everything about the business, he narrated everything and what has been involved, since he has been a middleman in this business for a period of time now. So after he told me, I also sat down and thought about it. Besides, my mom has been doing this business for a while, so since I was a child, I've gotten an opportunity to be with my mom, and so at least I have some idea and other stuff concerning this MAIZE trading business. So when he approached me, I told him to, okay, I will take my time and think about it, then I'll give him feedback. So I sat down and I analyzed the business well, I prayed over it, and I realized that it's something good that will help. So I told him that fine, what you told me, I've understood it, I've taken it in a very good heart. I'll give him my best and I'll make sure that I support this business to achieve its stated goals. So I told him that fine, I've accepted his offer, so let's start doing the business. So he brought the proposal to me, we sat down, and I finally got the in-depth knowledge and all what the business was about. So that's when we started, and we made a lot of trips and other stuff, and the business keeps on going. So currently, as the general manager of Sankofa MAIZE Connect Limited, I keep on working hard and make sure that I drive the goals and objectives and whatever that the company wish to achieve in the near future. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you very much, Mr. Sankoma Ababo Paul, for letting us know what made you honor our invitation to join the team. All right, so I'd like to talk about obstacles. What are some of the obstacles that I faced or we faced during the starting of the business? In fact, because the initial capital that we started the business with wasn't all that enough, I would say to be enough in other businesses, but with this kind of trading business, which requires much more capital to trade, I would say it wasn't all that enough for us to go for a full track load. All right, so by then, we were in the lean season by then, and the capital wasn't enough to buy a lot of bags of maize. So getting a car it became a problem. The capital was able to buy at least, I think, 320 bags of maize for our first consignment. Out of 1,000 bags, we got 300, and the capital was able to buy 320 bags of maize. So getting a car to transport this maize from the north or Wa to Accra or the capital city was a problem or was a hindrance. So I had to continue searching till I got a truck which told me that he already has additional load, which he can combine that load to mine. So he's ready to pick up my load. And in fact, I was so excited. So finally, I got a car to transport the maize or the 320 bags of maize from Wa. So moving from Wa to Tema will take us 2 days. So we spent 2 days on the road, moving from Wa to Tema. Now, because that was my first consignment, having due diligences done with the company and that stuff wasn't all that accurate, okay? So the company was supposed to sell, even, I wouldn't say it was a company, it was a poultry farmer. So the poultry farmer was supposed to sell our maize to, told me he's located in Tema, not knowing that his line is rather located in Ho. And move from Tema to Ho will take you additional maize. It's like a day journey. All right, okay. So we go to Tema. I got a company that now we are in Tema. We are in Tema. So where are they? We are looking for them to supply the maize to them. Not knowing that this poultry farm is located in Ho, but the owner of the poultry farmer lives in Accra. So now we go there, and he was now directing us to move our truck from Tema to Ho. And the door was like, no, that was the initial agreement that you had with me at Wa. So he's not ready to move his truck from Tema to Wa. So, in fact, one, his truck cannot withstand the portals on the way from Tema to Ho. And also, there is someone's additional goods in his truck, of which he has to release to the person at Kasua. So he can't do that. So he's not even interested in additional money I want to give to him. So he told us that the best way to do this is to find a different truck to offload the maize from that truck to another truck, or the next truck we are going to call for. So I was like, wow. And in fact, that was my first consignment. So I was like, wow, is that how the business looks like? Because for all this, I was playing the role as a middleman. So I never knew what entails in the entire thing. Yeah, so the video to follow is what you can see over there, whereby you realize I'm the one in the time that assisting the offloading boys to move the maize from the old truck to the next truck. So now the next obstacle was the way people started discriminating me or belittling me for the fact that I'm a young person doing this business. I remember that there was this feed milling company that I was emailing, and they also replied, and we negotiated on price and everything. I took purchase order and everything, and we sealed the deal. So they were expecting me to bring the maize, and I delivered. Now, when I got to their gate, okay, the security man was like, okay, so what's your way bill? And my driver gave the way bill to the security man, and he checked everything and realized, okay, so this is the company we're expecting the maize from, so you are welcome. Now, the procurement manager, whom I was chatting with via email, came up from my office and met me at the gate and was like, so where's your boss? Where's Nathan? I want to communicate to him. He has done so well, and because we needed maize urgently to process. So I told her, I'm Nathan, I'm the one she was chatting. She was like, stop joking. I said, where is your boss? The person I was chatting with via email. And the driver was like, this is the guy, this is the person, this is Nathan, this is the owner of the maize. And she was like, really? Are you Nathan? Look at this small boy. So he started making some funny comments. I was like, madam, please, I'm a graduate. Now, to talk of the farmers too, because we had trusted agents in all the various regions that always talk on our behalf to the farmers. We pay them, they loan us the goods and other stuff. They never knew the owner of the business or the owner of the company in which they are working with. So there was a time that I decided to pay them a visit. So I went to the agent, and then he introduced me to the agent or the farmers that I'm working with, or they are working with the company. And immediately they saw me, they were like, who is this person? And the agent was like, this is Nathan, the CEO of Sankofa Maize Connect Enterprise. And I was like, what? How can this small person or this small boy, or how can this young guy have this sum of amount of money in his account and give it to us to start trading? We don't believe it. So with time, before they realized things were done consistently, and I was the one paying them visits from time to time, giving them money to buy me the maize and other stuff, before they realized, okay, so this is the right person that they are working with, and this is the owner of the company. So to talk about additional obstacle, I remember there was a time that there was this company who contacted me that they need maize, and they've seen my adverts on Facebook, YouTube, and other stuff, and they would like to meet me at Accra Mall. There was a mall here in Accra called Accra Mall, whereby they wanted to meet me so that we do all our due diligence and that stuff over there. And I said, okay, no problem. Now they met me, and immediately they saw me, they were like, who is this guy? And I was like, I'm the one, I'm the person who they contacted on phone. And they didn't believe it. So they're like, who is the person I'm working with, or I came here with? We would have thought I had additional boss that are going to have that due diligence signed with, until I showed them the charts we had on phone, some of the consignments that we've had, and also some of the purchasing orders that I've taken from the companies before and other stuff, before they believe that I'm the real person that they're supposed to work with, before they started signing agreements with me, before we started a business. So these are some of the obstacles that I have faced as I've been facing, and what I've also faced before when I started a business. People normally see me to be a young person, or a young person to have some sums of amounts, or to run a company which requires sums of amount like this to trade. But with time, some of them are getting to know that even though I'm a young person, I'm a graduate and a competent person to trade or to run a business like Sankofa MAIZE Connect Limited. Now, after we were able to overcome these obstacles, there were other investors that joined us. We had a brother like Mr. Answer Prince who invested some amount of money in the company, and it really helped us. There was another investor who was from the UK called, she's like a mother to us, all right? She is Sister Norma Josephs. She also invested an amount of money in the company, and it's really widening the capital base of Sankofa MAIZE Connect Limited, of which we were able to now load 50 tons of maize, that's 1,000 bags of maize, and it really helps Sankofa MAIZE Connect Limited. Now, one may ask, what's the current state of Sankofa MAIZE Connect Enterprise? Now, Sankofa MAIZE Connect Enterprise has been upgraded to a limited liability company, whereby we have two main directors. We have Sister Norma Josephs, who is the director of Sankofa MAIZE Connect Limited, and Mr. Adolabi Nathan, who is also the director of Sankofa MAIZE Connect Limited. Now, we are currently in the developing stage, whereby we've been able to employ additional professional staffs, like a secretary and also an accountant, of which they are all also assisting SMC to achieve its stated goals.
My name is Cecilia Dede, the accountant of SMC. I discovered SMC through a post made by the CEO, Mr. Nathan Ado, on one of their social media platforms where he was advertising the company. I was so motivated that a young man who has just completed university has such vision and plans of opening his own company and offering employment to both skilled and unskilled labor. This motivated me to DM him, offering for the position of an accountant, which I got the opportunity to work with SMC as the accountant after an interview. I look forward to helping SMC achieve their 5-year plan and beyond by ensuring that accounts are kept properly, do daily records keeping, preparing of budgets, and then advice on when to increase and reduce costs. Thank you.
We've been able to put some structures in place whereby, unlike at first that we don't do proper due diligences with the companies or the consumers before delivering our goods to them, now we make sure all due diligences are put in place, okay, before we deliver our goods to them, making sure that we are paid on time, the price is well agreed and everything, so that we don't face challenges after delivering the goods to the companies. Now coming to the farmers as well, we've been able to employ agents in the various regions, whereby they keep updating us on the availability of raw materials in their various regions, which makes sure that we are always satiated with raw materials, being it in the bumper season or the dry season. So these structures put in place has enabled SMC to supply goods at all year rounds. And with that, companies call us day in, day out, and we are able to deliver as well. And the old customers we always deliver maize to always continue to give us purchasing orders, because they know that when Sankofa MAIZE Connect Limited promises, they deliver. Now, one may ask, what are the future goals of Sankofa MAIZE Connect Limited? Now, Sankofa MAIZE Connect Limited is still welcoming shareholders and investors. We have two packages. We have a package for shareholders, and we again have a package for preference shareholders, whereby with the preference shareholders, they give us the money or they invest in the company, and we make sure that these shareholders are paid at 6% every month on their capital. And we again welcoming shareholders, of which with them they must be interested in the assets of the company, because SMC now wants to start building assets. Okay, so currently we have some investors who are interested in converting their current capital with us into shares, of which we have started the due diligence processes. And also there are other people who have also shown interest that we are in the process of them buying shares in the company. And we are still welcoming additional shareholders who are interested in building assets with Sankofa MAIZE Connect Limited to contact us, because we still have packages for them, of which when they join us, we'll be able to increase our capital base so that we can now buy larger consignments and increase our profit margin or our income. So now when Sankofa MAIZE Connect Limited is able to generate more income or increase the capital base, which will lead to an increase in income, we will be able to now buy our land, because Sankofa MAIZE Connect Limited wants to start building our own warehouse whereby we'll be storing our goods in it during the bumper season. Okay, after building our warehouse, we are now thinking of buying a drying machine that will be used to dry our maize and other cereal products that we trade. Because during the bumper season, most of these cereals or grains are of higher moisture content, which needs to be dried before supplying to the company. So we are thinking of buying our own drying machine. And also, we are again thinking of building our own feed milling factory, and this is the ultimate goal SMC wants to achieve. SMC wants to build its own feed milling company, whereby we employ a lot of staffs that are going to receive goods from the farmers and other staff to supply the feed to our poultry farmers, and even if possible, export to our neighboring African countries or maybe outside Ghana, wherever the market or the demand is located. So this is Sankofa MAIZE Connect Limited, and in fact, I would like to thank everyone for giving us their ears during our submission of how this entire business started, how it's going, and how the future goals we aim of achieving. Thank you very much. My name is Nathan Adulabi, the Managing Director of Sankofa MAIZE Connect Limited. Thank you.